I just wanted to make a video to kind of explain some of the more like mysterious elements of the controller settings, especially like auto aim and stuff, because the settings out the box are not very good, and you can definitely make it like a lot easier on yourself, and I'm sure most people want that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Um, Now I'm not a content creator or anything. I'm just making this video to help people out. So if that helps you out, good. Pay it forward, I guess. I'm gonna go tip your waiter or something. Okay, and the options starting out is the dead zone. Dead zone is pretty straightforward. Basically, it's just like the dead zone is the very center of your stick, and if you have a smaller dead zone, then that means that as soon as you like move the stick in any direction, even just like a fraction, it will consider that as input, right? This is usually pretty okay to leave alone, unless you know that you're having some like drift issues or wear and tear might cause the stick box to like start getting like a vibration. You can turn it up a little bit, but it's really not necessary. Just leave that at number one. So rush attack settings are first. Lock to target. So this is pretty straightforward. It's just that, so if it's turned on, then you will keep attacking the initial target no matter what. Like, for example, if you start attacking a mob and the enemy hero comes up, you will continue attacking the mob. Even if you're holding down triangle, you will not switch to the enemy hero. You'll just keep attacking the NPC, and the enemy hero will destroy you. So you want to keep that off, okay? Because you want to set it based on priority level. Semi-auto. What this does is this basically makes it so that if you press the rush attack button once, it will continue to do a rush attack until you either press the rush attack button again, or you use a skill, or you do something other than just move. I don't really like to keep this on because it basically locks you into attacking rush attacking the specific target that you start attacking until, or I guess would change to the other enemy hero. Point is, it's not super useful. Just hold down rush attack to continue attack. Yeah, it's just, I can't think of many situations where it would be useful to have that turned on. Prioritize all except enemy NPCs. So what this does is that if you're standing and you have let's say you have a mob and you have an enemy hero and they're like equal distance of you, right? It's gonna like randomly pick one. Or let's say you have a mob that's a little closer to you, and the enemy hero is a little farther from you. If you have this turned on, it will prioritize the enemy hero even though he's a little farther away, okay? Basically, it's just anytime there's an enemy hero in your attack range, they will be targeted, as opposed to an NPC. So I just keep this, I keep this on because I pretty much always want to be hitting the enemy hero. You can manually choose to target mobs instead, because it is key to be able to do that, to have that choice. But we can get to that lower down when you have like a target selection wheel. For now, just leave this on. That's going to be like the most useful in general. Priority conditions. So basically, this just means that your rush attacks will target parameters based on like whatever you select here. So the default is nearest. That's probably the worst option because it means that you are going to rush attack whoever's closest, no matter how much health they have or anything like that. So that's not good. So the options are closest to direction of movement, lowest total HP, and lowest total HP percentage. So closest to direction of movement, I don't think it's very useful. It's basically if you have an enemy to your left and an enemy to your right, and you're attacking an enemy on your right, but then you move to the left, your rush attacks will change targets to the enemy on your left because that's where you're like currently moving. Not super useful. It's one of the options that takes a little bit of control away from the player, which is not terrible in a game like this. But for the auto attack specifically, you want to, or rush attacks, you want to leave it, just not do it. So lowest total HP and lowest total HP percentage. These two get confused a lot, and a lot of people choose lowest total HP percentage because it kind of feels right? But that's not really the what you want to go for. So HP percentage is a percentage based off of their total like base value of HP, right? So you might have a DPS and a tank, and the DPS has 200 base value HP, while the tank has 300 base value HP, right? So if both the DPS and the tank are within attack range, and they both have 25 health, then lowest total HP percentage will target the tank, because the tank has a lower percentage because he had a higher base health, right? And that is not what you want. You want to be attacking the lowest total HP, because you will always hit, like, regardless of how much base HP they have, you're gonna hit whoever's gonna die like soonest, right? Yeah, so you want to keep lowest total HP. Auto aim. So this is for skills. Like all this stuff up here, this is for rush attacks. This is for your your just regular, attack, right? Auto aim. This is gonna be for your skills. So auto aim, I keep them on. I use auto aim. It's pretty useful. You can tweak it to make it not quite so I don't know, to keep as much control as you can while still like assisting you. If you're really, really good, you don't need auto aim, because you can just manually aim like everything all the time. I'm not that good. I don't think most people are. So you can just leave that on if you want. I recommend. Yeah. Prioritize all except enemy NPCs. This is the same as the rush attack, except it's just for skills, right? So if there's an enemy within skill range, enemy hero, it will target them over an NPC pretty much all the time. Now, depending on which enemy hero you target, is going to be the priority conditions. So this is the same as the priority conditions on the rush attack. Nearest by default is not good at all. That means you're going to shoot off Kamehameha at like whoever's closest and not whoever needs to get killed. So we're gonna change that to low total HP, because that way you will target the people who need to be hit the most automatically. So yeah, activate during skill input. This one is kind of funny, right? So this one is if you read it, it says change the timing that auto aim activates. On, auto aim begins when you input the skill until you set the AoE. Off, auto aim works only when you input the skill. So basically, when it's on, it means that you can hold the skill button to set the target marker, right? And if you're just moving around, it will stick to the opponent no matter how much you move or no matter how they move, unless they leave the range of the skill. And I'll show you what that looks like here in a little bit. If it's turned off, then that means that the auto aim will basically snap to wherever the opponent is, but will not stick to them while you are moving or they are moving. So this is more of a personal preference thing. If you want to see it in action, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see that on, and we're gonna go into a training match. So auto aim begins when you input the skill until you set the AoE. So yeah, we'll just take a look. Do some training. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and gain a couple levels first. We're just going to go ahead and unlock the skill 1 and skill 2. So as you will see, whenever you hold down the skill button, it will bring up a targeting reticule. There's a circle around your character, and that shows like the range of like when an enemy is considered like within like targetable range. Some skills actually have the skill extends slightly past the targetable range. And that can be a little awkward, but for this case, for Gohan, it does not work that way, so it's pretty straightforward. And then you can use the right stick to just choose whatever. I'm sure it's pretty easy to figure out. So yeah, I'm gonna cancel that. Now, if an enemy is within your targeting range and you have this setting set to on, it will automatically snap to them. See, the targeting reticle is turned yellow. It is locked onto an enemy, and it will continue to be locked on the enemy as long as they are within the targeting reticule and you are holding down the button. So they can move, you can move, it will just follow them, right? And then whenever you let it go, it will launch at them, right? Okay. If you don't ever touch the right stick, you can actually hold a skill and it will still snap to an enemy. But as soon as you manually aim, it removes the target. So for example, right? All right, so I got snapped. Now I'm going to use the right stick. I'm going to move. Okay, see? And now it's not automatically locked on to Vegeta anymore. And it will not lock back on. See, even he's in range. It doesn't lock on. It will not re-engage that lock until you cancel the skill. So, there you go. See? Look. Alright, so we're going to cancel. Now, you can set a skill. As long as you don't touch the stick. Right, so I haven't touched the right stick at all. I'm only moving. Now, as soon as Vegeta gets within range, it will snap to him. See, and that's because I did not touch the right stick. I did not manually aim at all. So I've never touched the right stick at all, and it will always snap to him, even if I leave his range and then come back. So, but as soon as I move the stick and I aim it right, it will not snap to him whatsoever. While I'm holding down the target, you gotta cancel and then do it again. All right, so pretty useful, pretty straightforward, and let's see what the other option looks like.
I'm my father's son. I have to finish what he started.
Okay, so now, if instead of turning this on, you said you turn it off, right? Auto aim only works when you input the skill. So that means that it will snap to the target, but it will not stay locked on the target as you move, or as they move, right? And let's see what that looks like.
I'm my father's son. I have to finish what he started.
Levels. Okay, so I will go ahead and get my skill ready. Watch it, it will snap to Vegeta. Okay, no, I guess it won't. So, okay, if he's within range, okay, it automatically goes to his direction. But notice how the target reticule is still green. This is considered manual control. It's not yellow. It's not locked on. So I will move, right? No matter where I am, though, if he's within range, it will snap to him. See? So I'm in range, snaps to him. But if I... Right. It does not lock on because it does not follow him, right? So this is what the setting turned off. It will only snap to the opponent while they're within range. But it does not stick. So, yeah. I prefer the other setting. I like that it sticks to my target, especially whenever I use the target selection wheel. To choose like which enemy hero I want to take out first. But this definitely, if you're really good at like those like snap, reflexes, quick decisions, this can definitely be useful. Yeah, the biggest thing I noticed is that there is no delay in like grabbing the target and then moving the reticule. There's another option that we'll go over, which it adds a bit of a delay when it automatically targets an enemy and then you move the skill away or the stick away. It will have a bit of a delay, but yeah, we'll get to that next. But for now, auto targets when in range, not when in range, does not keep target. So yeah, this is the setting off.
I'm my father's son. I have to finish what he started.
All right, so that is yeah, active during skill input. I like to leave that on because once again it will track the target. As long as you don't manually control the aim of the skill, then it won't track the target. So aim target display. This is the #1 most important setting to turn on. If you don't have this on, you are just playing suboptimally no matter what. There's no arguing about it, right? What this does is this creates a target reticule on the screen that lets you select specific enemy heroes to target that will be your target if they're within range above anyone else, right? It doesn't matter who's next to them. It doesn't matter what their health is or anything. You will stay locked onto that target. I'll show you what it looks like here. You can actually see in the screen layout, right? So the over here on the right, this is your targeting reticule. So what happens is when you're not aiming a skill, you're just moving, but you're not aiming a skill, you can select the target with the right stick. The top is enemy mobs, right? And then the left and the right is the enemy heroes. So this will override any of those priority target settings, right? So it's useful to work in conjunction with the priority setting, right? So like, let's say I want to manually target the DPS, he's right here, right? And so I'm going to set that to the target, but for some reason, let's say I misclick and I move to a different target or whatever, but there's no other one in range, I will still automatically aim towards him whenever he's nearby because he's still set to the priority settings of like lowest total HP. Or you know, something like that. So it's good to keep this up all the time. Yeah, that is the let's Let's see where we at. Yes, aim target display. Very important. Very important to leave that on. All right, directional movement skills. So what this does is, like, when you fire off a skill that makes you move in a set direction, this will basically override. And if you're not targeting an enemy, or if you're not with an enemy is not within targetable range, then you will fire off the movement skill in that specific direction. If it's turned off, then it will go based on the direction that your character is facing. So let's go ahead and let's try that with Zamasu. I think that his dash is a pretty good indicator. All right, so I came back to this video because I realized I was doing directional movement skills all wrong, but now we're good. So what they look like is you'll see an arrow indicator on any skill, which is going to move you somewhere. So a good way is, so the Gohan's kick, right? You see how there's an arrow indicator that shows wherever, and whenever I move the left stick, the indicator is moving with me, right? So you see, I'm not actually using the right stick, I'm just using the left stick. I'm moving around and it's moving with me, and there's a little arrow that indicates where it's going to go, right? Now if I fire off the beam, you'll see that the indicator stays where it is, right? It's not a movement skill, so it is going to stay wherever it is indicated. Yeah, movement like that. So this is when directional movement skill turned on. That is what you get. All right, so let's try and turning it off, and then we'll see the difference. All right. All right, so directional movement skills. We're gonna turn this off. We're gonna go back into training. Not tedious at all. Okay, and you will see that whenever I use the movement skill and I'm moving, see, it does not move. It doesn't change direction, right? It does not. I'm strafing basically, right? I can still use right stick to move around, but the actual movement stays facing the same direction as opposed to like actually changing my movement direction. So yeah, I was mistaken about that for a long time. So now that I know better, you all can know better too. So you're welcome. All right, what do we got left?
This is all part of my virtuous plan.
Okay, so aim assist settings, right? I actually played with this off for a long time. I still do. I don't really like it to on, but maybe you will if you're bad at like aiming, even with aim assist, even with the auto aim settings. Basically, if you choose slow assist, then whenever you are going to be you're aiming near a target, it will slow the targeting reticle down, right? That could theoretically make it easier to hit your target, because if you move your stick real fast all around, I guess, you panic, you might miss, but I hate the way it feels, and I'll show you what it looks like, and you guys can judge for yourself.
Let's do this.
All right. Okay, so a couple levels. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the cooldowns too. Okay. All right, so I have auto, so automatically targets, but let's say that it doesn't, right? Let's say that, all right, so it's not automatically targeting, right? You'll notice that as I rotate around, okay, this isn't considered an AoE. I guess Kamehameha is not, I don't know how it's not considered an AoE, but the step is considered an, I know that for a fact, right? So, like, I'm gonna move it around. You see how fast it's going, moving around. Woo, so that's fine. Now, when an enemy's in range, it will actually slow down. You see how slow it's going? And then as soon as the enemy is not in range anymore, it will speed up. So I'm going to move away from Vegeta, and here we go, normal speed, move to Vegeta, slows down, right? I think this feels terrible. I do not like this at all. Not a fan. And when I'm doing this, I am moving the stick as far as possible. I'm not trying to be super slow or anything. It is just that's maximum movement is not good, right? Well, not good for me. You guys might change your mind, but that's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. and I'll show you the sticky assist, which I'm
Do this.
not sure if I like that even less, but I know I don't like it. So let's see. Okay, so we're gonna do the sticky assist. So it says AoE indicator sticks to enemies as it gets closer, as opposed to slowing down when you approach an enemy. So let's see what that looks like in practice.
Do this.
I desperately wish that they add an option to let you change these controller settings while you are inside of the training, because this video would be a lot shorter and it would be super helpful. So okay, so it's stuck to him. It's stuck to him, right? Then it just snaps. So sticky assist means that if the enemy is within range, it will just snap to, like, whenever you're manually aiming, right? Manual aim, it's fine. Do whatever. Enemy gets within range, snaps, right? So manual aim, and it becomes back, snap, snap. See, so as you can notice that the range at which it activates is actually a lot closer. Like, you can still get to, like, you can still get pretty close before it snaps, and you kind of have to be moving it. If you're moving real slow, it won't snap. If you move quick, it'll just snap it in. So that can definitely be useful. I can definitely see how some people could, but personally, I find that the sticky auto aim stuff, I guess not sticky, but the auto aim like this, I mean, this works just fine. This is really all you need. But if you want to have the stick to, then that's perfectly fine as well. So yeah, that's the sticky auto aim as opposed to the slow auto aim.
Let's do this.
All right, guys, we are reaching the end. So if you've stuck around all this time, I hope you learned something. Let's just see what else we got. Go and turn that off because I don't like it. Tilt correction. Okay, so I keep this on. Basically, what this is like the more you move your stick, like, from the dead zone to the outer range of the stick, the faster the targeting reticule will move, right? And to be fair, the throw distance is not very large at all, so this is good to keep on. Basically, if you just move the stick a little bit, that means that the reticule will only move a little bit. So if you want to, like, fine tune your aiming by just, like, aiming a little bit, then you want to keep this on. If you turn this off, then it will move at the same speed no matter how much you turn the stick, right? So you just barely touch the stick and it'll, like, flick off to the side at full speed. I don't know. I don't find it to be very accurate. I guess it just depends on, like, your reaction time and, like, how fast you can move the stick and still, like, be aware of what's going on. I like to leave that on just because sometimes I prefer a more fine-tuned aiming. That is different from, it's not aim assist, it's not the slow assist, right? It is just whenever you're aiming anything at an enemy, you have the option to, like, just tilt the stick a little bit and move a little slower. So there's just, I don't see many reasons to leave that off. And these are, like, control speed dead. So this is all just, like, you can fine tune the speed of the correction, but I haven't played with all that. I don't know if it's super useful. I'm sure if you want to make, like, really good use of it, be a master, you can, like, figure out what everything means, but I just leave it on and that works for me. And last but not least is the camera settings, right? So right stick dead zone while you're using the camera specifically. So when you're in camera mode, you zoom around, you can do a custom dead zone. I'm not really sure why this is different from the regular dead zone, but, c'est la vie. Camera acceleration. So when you're in camera viewing mode and you're just viewing the battlefield, if you hold a direction for, like, a couple seconds, it will get faster and it will zoom across the map. If you turn this off, the camera will move at the same speed no matter how much you hold the stick. It will not speed up the farther you go. I'll be honest, I never really use the camera control. With controller, it's just not super intuitive, and the minimap shows you all the relevant information you need. So I don't really use the camera a whole lot. So camera acceleration. Now the slide, I hate the slide stuff. I don't think it feels good, but you might if you want a better view at the end of your, like, range skills. So it says when using a long range skill, the camera will slide to the far end of your range. Basically, it means that the camera, like, I'm aiming, like, I have max Kamehameha, it's got a super long range, right? I'm aiming, and the camera will just kind of pan to, like, where the end of the Kamehameha is going to hit, to give you a better view on, like, where people are out there, right? I don't really like it because it removes the focus of the character from the middle of the screen. and it's a little bit harder to see what's going on like immediately around you. So I'm not a huge fan, but if you're just big on like sniping, and you like to see the end, then that might be cool to leave on. Slide for skill activation. This is basically like kind of the same thing, except that like this. Let's say you're Krillin and you fight. He's got a really long, like key blast, and it will he can actually manually control it. Right, it's a great way to kind of scout to see like where people are and try to get a hit at like long range. So it will, the camera will like track with like the AoE. I don't know. I maybe that's not exactly how it works. I hate having camera control that is like removed from me by force, so I just keep these both off. They're not, I don't know, be used to play with them, go into training, play with them, see what they look like. I'll show you this skill setup. Let's see if we can get it to actually see what it looks like, because I guess don't take my word for it. We should actually take a look at it and see. Try Goku first.
Do this.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of things that actively take away control. I'm just gonna beef them up. We're just gonna reduce cooldowns. All right, so Kamehameha. Let me go ahead and just juice that up first. All right, so see how it slid, right? So I start at the center, and then I move my stick. I am no longer at the middle of my screen, right? This is out. This is the activation slide on activation. So, you know, I can see kind of where I am. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people that really like this move. Personally, it's just not for me. I would rather keep it focused. Now, when it does, you see how it's not sliding because I have not touched the stick at all. If I touch the right stick, then it would go ahead and like remove the target, but it's not because I haven't manually aimed anything. But as soon as I do, it goes out to the like max range, right? So, yeah, not the best. And then I guess the activation would be that it slides as soon as, let me see. Let me try it see how it goes. Yeah, okay, there you go. See? So it slid the move over as soon as I fired it off. So that's not terrible, actually, the more I play with it. I'm not a big fan of the slide, but in this, it kind of gets rid of the slide, but it also gives you that quickly, you know, zoomed out perspective whenever it fires. That's not the worst. I might have to play with that and see if that, but I usually leave that off, just because, like I said, anytime that I lose the center control of my camera, I'm not a huge fan. All right. Honestly, it's gonna about cover it, except for the buttons layout. So I'll show you my controller layout just because I spent a lot of time fine-tuning it, and I think it's practical. So well, screen layout, we'll get to that later. So vanishing step, I just changed this around. I like square being my attack button because I played so much like hack and slash video games. Square just is like the basic attack button for me. So that's my basic attack. Vanishing step, dodge, X. I tried to kind of use one of the shoulder buttons for a little bit too, but I think just being next to rush attack just seems to make the most sense. By default, the level up skill is just, I don't find it to be super duper intuitive. So I bind it to triangle because it's right by square, which I'm going to keep my thumb on like most of the time, and it's just easy to just level something up. I hit triangle. Let's see. I don't mess with skill 1, 2, or 3. I leave those alone. That's fine the way they are. Super attack, I'd change it from L2 R2 to L1 R1 because with everything going on, I did panic, I guess, and I just hit like both triggers at the same time. Fire off, spirit bomb when I don't want to, and that totally sucks. So L1 R1, that makes it so that I only use spirit bomb or whatever other, you know, super attack whenever I really want to. So camera, like I said, I don't ever really manually control the camera, so I just keep that up. Just because I don't really use that button a whole lot, so D-pad is fine. Transform, respawn. I thought that L3 was very unintuitive for transforming. I don't like having to hit 2 buttons to do it. I want it to be as close to like a 1-button action as possible. So this basically will make it so you hit triangle and circle at the same time, or Y and B or whatever control you're using. The point is, it's the up and the right face buttons. It's really easy to just hit those buttons at the same time, like with one press. So I keep that there because like whatever button you map this to, it is going to be plus triangle. So you can do like square and triangle. You can do one of the shoulder buttons in triangle, whatever works. I just do triangle circle because it's just easy to hit. Divine combo cards. This is super useful. You want this to be like easy to access. I use the touchpad button on the PlayStation controller because it's just easy to select. Yeah, I just find that's the easiest button for it. Recall down, I don't mess with that. It's pretty straightforward. So this is a big one, helper, right? I keep my helper set to R3 because I want to be able to very easily and quickly deploy the helper because timing is pretty much everything when it comes to deploying the helper. So I don't even have to like let go of the stick. I can just hit R3 and then they drop down, which is super useful. Stamps, you know, pretty straightforward. Just use stamps, toggle menu options. That's pretty much it. You might notice that I don't have anything assigned to L1 specifically. That's because it will work in conjunction with the super attack. So I used to have like pings on L1, but I found that whenever I would launch my super attack, it would open up my ping window as well, and it made it so I really couldn't aim the super attack very well. So I leave L1 blank. It's basically my super attack button. I'm gonna hit L1 and then R1, and then I'll be able to use my super attack. I wish they would just let me do L1, but I don't know why the game is just set up that way. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Most of my the dodging, fighting, transforming is on the face buttons, and then all like the pings and stuff like that go on the D-pad just because they're like less of a priority like all the time. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so customize. Customize buttons is super cool. This option is actually not on the PlayStation 5, which I normally play on. So I'm gonna leave that off because I guess that's default. And I haven't messed with it myself, so we're gonna leave that there. Screen layout. This is the big one, right? So this lets you totally just change the position and size of like all the elements on the screen, and actually looks like it saved my UI design from PlayStation, which is great. So as you'll see, I moved the map over here on the right side. Because I want to say that's how it is in some other MOBAs I've played, and it just felt right. But it's cool. You can make it like a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, like whatever works for you. I guess it was at 109. It's good enough for me. You can use triangle to change the position of the minimap, right? You can't like freely place it, but so I chose upper right. Yeah, confirm. So my big thing is that I wanted the middle of my space to be as clear as possible, right? I didn't want a bunch of stuff get in the way up in here while I'm playing the game. So I actually took this, I moved it down to be a lot closer to the skills, and then this is like your like ally notification, whatever, and then this one, I put this up top. Frankly, I don't find these to be crazy super useful. I mean, they're good to have around, but mostly I just want them out the way, because they're not there all the time. And then all of my party member, enemy, I think this lets you know the ultimates are up, this is the levels, that kind of, just keep that all, this is where your stickers, just kind of push that out to the corner, get it out of the screen. A lot of the stuff on the bottom here, skills, divine cards, all that can just stay, right? I did try to make this a little larger, a little more its max size, you know what I mean? Kind of put it a little more prominently, so it's easy to see, but it's not in like my screen. So yeah, this is just what I like. I like having a lot of open space here to see what's going on. And yeah, I guess that is going to do it for this video. I hope that you guys understand kind of how this stuff works a little bit better. It's confusing and it's like unnecessarily tedious. I don't know why it's so bad out the box, but at least we can make it a bit more tolerable. And if you want to be a true G, you could just set everything to off and just manual everything, and you will have my deepest respect. Otherwise, you guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, later.